Let's just hope that this isn't a cruel summer as far as my reading is involved. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife, and today I am taking you through the 6 books that I am going to try and concentrate on for summer this year. I'm going to be trying to get these read throughout the months of May, June and July, but in the middle of those, slap bang in the middle, is the Amazing Readathon. I am going to be concentrating quite a lot on contemporary fiction, literary fiction, genre fiction, women's fiction, historical fiction for that month. So there might be a couple of these that can kind of slide their way in here, but if I can get them read in May or July, I think I'm doing pretty okay too. I've got a rather wide stretching set of books here. There are a couple of romance books, there are a couple of contemporary fiction books, and there are a couple of women's fiction books in here as well that have been on my shelf for so long. I think now is just the time to get them out. Starting off with Summer by Ali Smith. This is the final book in the seasonal quartet. It is the last book of the series that I need to read, and I am most likely not going to be reading them this time, with Amelia from Amelia Barlow Books and Shannon from 155 Books. When we went on to spring, I was the only one who was still on the reading train when we got to the station, so I don't know if they're going to come along with me for the journey this time. All of the books are set in the season that they take place in, and because summer is full of brightness and is full of warmth, I am hopeful that that's going to be the vibe that I'm looking for in this book. However, the 3 books in the series so far have been quite bleak and have been quite dreary. So even though we're coming into the brightest season of the lot, and even though we're coming into the warmest time of the year, I am pretty certain that there is still going to be some kind of grey and misery looking out of me from these pages. I am going to give it a try though. I said I was going to give the seasonal quartet a really good try, every single one of the books, and I'm just going to see how I get along with them, but I am truly going into this one with 0 expectations. The bar is truly on the floor, Miss Ali Smith. Come and impress me. Next up is Love Me Do by Lindsay Kelk, and this book is an anomaly. This is the first Lindsay Kelk book that I bought and didn't immediately drop everything in my life to go and pick up. I don't remember why it is that when I went and bought it, I didn't just instantly slap it up, but here we are. This is about Phoebe, who is working as a greeting card writer, so she's working for Hallmark or Clifton Cards or one of those really big card companies in the UK. She heads off to the US to stay with her sister who has moved over to LA a couple of years ago and to reignite her relationship with her and to basically get back on track. While she's there, she meets her sister's neighbour, Ren, who's not really going through a good patch with his love life at the moment, so Phoebe decides that she is going to use her expertise and become his wing woman. However, she is slowly starting to fall for Ren as they are spending more time together, and it looks like she might be out to do a little bit trickery to get her hands on him. I have loved every single Lindsay Kelk book that I have read so far. I love her writing style. She is incredibly funny, and it is also inherently British. Having grown up so close to the UK, I'm quite familiar with their slang. I'm quite familiar with their sense of humour. So when I read these books, they are also really attainable and approachable to me. I'm so interested to see how I'm going to enjoy this one though, because I've heard slight rumours that this is a little bit spicier than any other Lindsay Kelk book that's been here so far. She's not a very heavy on the spice writer, so let's see how much of it she's going to start peppering into the pages. Also on the list is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Carly Fortune is going to be a brand new author for me to discover this summer, and I felt like Every Summer After was the perfect place to start. This book has got Whispers of Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, which was a storyline that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the thought of what happened in it, but I didn't love the execution. There are a couple of things in there that I didn't really gel with, so hopefully, if this has got a similar vibe to it, I might get along a little bit better. This book is about Persephone, who hasn't really been back to the lake where she used to spend all of her childhood summers in about a decade, because there's been a huge misunderstanding and a huge accident that she really wants to lay low from. However, one day she gets a phone call to tell her the news that she was never expecting to hear. Her best friend Sam is about to go back to the lake. Persephone packs up all of her belongings and heads back out to the lake in order to get back in touch with Sam and to rekindle the friendship that they had. And we are not only spending that weekend with Persephone and Sam at the lake, but we are also spending the last 6 summers with them to find out what happened before everything went wrong. I am so excited to see if this is an author who's really going to work for me, because I've actually got copies of all 3 of her books on my Kindle. I think the first 2 were in a 99p deal around December, January of last year, this year. And I got a copy of This Summer Will Be Different from NetGalley. So I have got all of her books in very easy access for me. I just need to start reading them. Next up is Strong Female Character by Fern Brady. Fern Brady is a comedian from Scotland, and in her adult life, she was diagnosed as autistic. She then, throughout her memoir, takes a look back at her childhood and at her life, and takes a look at the kind of signs that her parents and her school teachers had missed out, and all of the things that would have been so much easier for her to get through, and so much easier for her brain to compute, had she known that she was autistic. I absolutely love Fern Brady. I have seen her on a couple of panel shows. I have also seen her on Taskmaster about 3 or 4 seasons before the one that's currently airing. And I absolutely loved how unapologetically and how unashamedly she was herself. And she leaned into every task and gave it as much as she could. And I think I've seen her say somewhere on the internet that Taskmaster was the most autistic friendly show she'd ever done. So if you want to see what Fern Brady's persona is like, I would absolutely recommend that you go and watch season 14 of the UK series of Taskmaster. Next on the list is The Beach Holiday by Isabel Broom. I absolutely love Isabel's books because they have the ability to transfer you anywhere in the world, and all you need to do is open the book and sit down on your couch. She has sent her books pretty much everywhere across the world. She has sent us to Spain, to Czechia, to New Zealand, to Indonesia. And with this one, we are going to the Hamptons in New York, which is a super popular summer destination for all of New York's rich and famous. This book is following Honor, who is a writer but is suffering from writer's block at the moment. Nothing is really coming out onto the page and she's feeling really down about that. So she heads off to the Hamptons after being invited by one of her friends to spend the summer with her and to just relax and let go. While she is there, she starts to have a couple of new ideas about what she could do about a book, basically seeing what's happening around her and trying to form a book out of that. But fact and fiction often start to blur, and as she is starting to research, she's starting to find out a couple of really interesting things. This, like the Lindsay Kelk book, has kind of got an anomaly to it because it's also a book from an author I would usually snap up instantly, but I just never went and reached for it as soon as it was sent to me. So I have really got to get my skates on with this one because I know that Isabel has got another book coming out at the end of this summer, and I really want to get my hands on that one because it sounds like such an interesting story, but I need to read The Beach Holiday before I can get to it. Those are 6 books that I am really going to try and get read by the end of summer. Have you got any plans for your summer reading, or do you think that there's a book on this list that I really need to prioritize as the first one? If you would love to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me the sunshine emoji. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.